Hey there, Luke here with another video. For those of you unfamiliar with our channel, my husband Tyler and I make weekly travel videos where we document our experiences since moving from North America to the UK. If you've been watching our series so far, you'll know that we had just started our experience in Portugal for the first couple weeks of September in 2021. In the last video, we took you to some of the major city highlights of Lisbon and Porto, whereas in this video, we're going to talk more about some of the day trips that you can do from Lisbon and Porto. And we're going to talk through how we got there and some of the major highlights in each of these areas. If you like these videos, please be sure to give a comment, like, subscribe, and if you're so inclined to leave a tip with the super thanks button, all of those are super helpful for supporting this channel. The first day trip destination that I want to highlight is from Lisbon, and this is to the town of Sintra. Sintra has a lot of beautiful things to offer, but probably the main thing that it's known for is the Pena Palace. The castle stands on the top of the hill in the Sintra Mountains above the town of Sintra, and on a clear day it can be easily seen from Lisbon and much of its metropolitan area. It is a national monument and constitutes one of the major expressions of the 19th century Romanticism in the world. You can also walk around inside the Pena Palace, which offers views of lovely architecture and historic furnishes. We personally loved the dynamic colors and unique distinctive style of this palace. It truly is like no other palace we've been to before and was a treat to visit. Definitely worth the hype. As if the palace wasn't beautiful enough, we also encourage you to make your way through the palace's gardens. It had a very forested feel to it and was quite relaxing. We made our way through these gardens on our way to our next stop, which was the Castle of the Moors, or in Portuguese, Castelo dos Mouros. The castle was built by the Moors between the 8th and 9th centuries and offers great panoramic views of the Sintra Mountains, including Pena Palace. It is classified as a national monument, part of the Sintra cultural landscape, and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. On the way to our last attraction in Sintra, we walked through the town a bit and happened to see a cute liqueur shop selling shots of ginja, which is a Portuguese liqueur made by infusing ginja berries and alcohol and adding sugar together with other ingredients, including cloves and or cinnamon sticks. We finished our day with a visit to the Quinta da Regaleira, which is a really nice piece of architecture in Sintra, which has a very castle vibe to it, with all of this beautiful old stone, and as well as some pretty natural things to see. One of the things we enjoyed doing while at the Quinta da Regaleira was walking down to the famous initiation well. The initiation wells on the property better resemble underground towers lined with stairs. These wells never served as water sources, but instead they were used for ceremonial purposes that included tarot initiation rites. So a really cool, interesting history there that we loved diving into and exploring. After a long day, we enjoyed just kind of relaxing a little bit in Sintra and walking around the town a bit more before heading back to Lisbon. For our next day trip destination, I want to highlight the town of Cascais. You can easily access Cascais by public transport, but we decided to wait to explore this area for when we had a car through the Sintra-Cascais Natural Park. One viewpoint that we drove to and enjoyed was what is called the Boca do Inferno viewpoint, which is a popular area to watch the ocean hit against the cliffs. Another area to consider visiting when in Cascais is visiting the Lighthouse Museum of Santa Marta. The lighthouse was built in 1868 on the site of a 17th century fort and only came into operation after the site was stripped of its military status. The lighthouse and fort now incorporate a small museum which covers the site's history as well as the development of the optical devices used in Portugal's lighthouses. After our visit to the lighthouse and museum, we headed into the town of Cascais and enjoyed walking around the beachfront and cute city streets. Definitely take the time to walk around this cute, charming seaside town. After this, we drove to the Cabo da Roca, which is the most westerly point of continental Europe. From here, we walked along the cliff to the stunning Ursa beach, where we enjoyed some downtime, taking in the beautiful views. All right, let's switch gears to some of the day trips that we did out of Porto, and specifically, let's talk first about the amazing Douro Valley. We personally decided to sign up for a day trip to the stunning Douro Valley for a day full of drinking port wine and sailing along the Douro River. The Douro is one of the world's oldest wine regions with a long tradition of viticulture. More than 2,000 years of winemaking have shaped it into a terraced, wine-covered, wine-producing destination, and because of the human influence and history in the area, it is considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We booked our tour through Get Your Guide, and we could not recommend it enough. We got picked up in the morning from Porto and headed to our first stop of the day in the Douro Valley region, which is the town of Peso da Régua, which is a great place to stop for a photo stop admiring the bridge. Afterwards, we proceeded to 2 different wineries in the Douro Valley region, and we got to experience various port wines, both red and white. It was really nice to just take our time walking through some of the vineyards and learning some of the history and background of why Portugal is such an important region for winemaking, and the weather was beautiful, and it was just a great ambiance. And who can beat this beautiful scenery with a glass of wine in your hand? After we were finished at the wineries, we headed to our final destination of the day, which is the town of Pinhão. While the main reason we were in Pinhão was for a scenic riverboat tour, it is worth spending a few moments walking around the town if you have the chance, because it's super tiny, but we found quite picturesque. From Pinhão, we took a lovely cruise down the Douro River in a historic transport vessel known as a Rabelo boat. The Rabelo boat is a traditional Portuguese wooden cargo boat that was used for centuries to transport people and goods along the Douro River. The Rabelo boat is native to the Douro region and is closely linked to the production and trade of port wine in the area. The history and type of boat does not exist in any other place in the world. And now for our last day trip out of Porto is the town of Aveiro. Aveiro is located on the west coast of Portugal, set along a lagoon called the Ria de Aveiro. It's distinguished by its canals navigated by colorful boats, which are known as barcos molaceiros. Aveiro is known for its many Art Nouveau style buildings and its colorful architecture. We simply enjoyed walking around the historic town center, taking in the lovely designs on the buildings and along the many canals. One local delicacy that this town is known for and is worth trying out is what is called ovos moles, which is a type of pastry that is made simply with egg yolks and sugar and was traditionally made by nuns in the local convents but has since been passed on to the local people. Overall, we found Aveiro is a great spot to visit if you're in Porto. It has a really nice small town vibe and it doesn't take too long to explore. It's really just great to sit and watch the boats go by on the water. Alright everyone, that is it for this video. We hope that this video gave you great ideas for day trips out of Lisbon and Porto, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and if you're so inclined to leave a tip with the super thanks button, super helpful for us. Stay tuned as we continue this series because we have a lot more destinations in Portugal to highlight, in particular from this point a lot of the smaller towns that are certainly worth visiting. In the next video, we'll be taking you to the gorgeous seaside towns of Peniche and the islands of Berlingues. Can't wait to see you at the next one. Bye!